Welcome back, YouTube. So in today's video, we're going to do an update on price action and take a look here at some longs versus shorts and kind of get an idea of open interest right now because it's really exploded since the last time we talked about it, but I'll save that for later in the video. So right now we are looking at a continuance of the trend here that we set, we kind of marked a few weeks ago, and we'll see that it has been using this trend line, the 14-day moving average, as support. And every time we get a wick down there, it grabs liquidity and goes into the opposite direction. Even when it's pushed down below it and we still close down on the day, we still close up above that 14-day moving average. So we're still continuing this trend here. Yes, that's whether it's a green day or red day, this trend is still headed upward here. So this is really great for the continuance of this program, the trend and the continuance of the positive momentum going into this price action, this direction here. So I'm really excited about this. We are inching our way toward that gap zone, as we talked about yesterday. The next gap zone pretty much propels us into a range of around, I'll say, 55 to 58 cents. And then after that, if we're looking at some of the older trends, it kind of gets really astronomical there. We start inching up toward, we're not even inching, we start like blasting off toward the all-time highs. And from there, we're going to have to chart some new trajectories here and use some trends and some equations here to kind of get an idea of what those points of resistance are going to be going forward. But depending on when we get there, it'll be a little bit more difficult to kind of get like those ranges, but we just know it'll be a lot of volume coming in because typically the volume starts and liquidity starts piling in there very aggressively. And where the exchanges between buys and sells are going to be, it becomes hard to track, but that'll be an exciting time anyway, because when that starts happening, we're definitely going to be at $1, if not really close. So I think they're going to be around the 90 cents mark, but I'll save that for another time, especially when we start retesting some of those all-time highs. I'll save that conversation for then. But same thing that we are talking about is happening overall with BTC. And another thing that is really shocking a lot of people, if you watch the news, you'll see that BlackRock and Vanguard and a few other funds, they've increased their positions right after Bitcoin dropped below 100K. And I find that very interesting because typically it's expected that we would see a bigger sell-off from around the 100K mark, but the buying pressure has just been astronomical. And I think this is something similar, which is why I want to talk about it, is to something that's going to happen with Doge around $1, because around there people were saying, okay, well, it's not going to hit 100K. Or once we get to 100K, we're going to have this huge sell-off, and you'll see some of the analysts on X saying, hey, it'll never hit 100K. I shared one on my page the other day if you want to check it out. Or, hey, it's going to sell off. It's going back to 50K or something like that. Everybody's going to take profits. And you're seeing the exact opposite. You're seeing even stronger demand because they're like, okay, this is actually happening here. A lot of these projections we've seen, it may not be crazy. Let's just go ahead and take a position. Yes, it's higher, but let's just go ahead and take a position. And you're seeing a lot of that happening right now. And that's kind of how you get into, I would say FOMO, but that's certainly how you get that extreme volatility in the market here, because the sentiment changes, right? And it becomes, okay, well, I just need to be in. Price doesn't matter now. I'm a believer and I believe this is going to go higher. So I don't care about the price right now. I just need exposure to this asset. And I believe we're going into that season here. Let's take a look at this here. We had the sell-off here going down to, this is on the daily here. You'll see like a flash crash down here. It's like 92, then right back up above the 14. And then this huge candle here. This is the biggest green candle we've had. Let's see, on the daily since November 11th, right? That's how strong the buys have been coming in today. And it's back over 100,000 at 101, 319, 302 right now. That's how strong the buys have been for today. So this has been a testament here of the trend and the strength of this bull run. And I believe that we're going to shock a lot of people going into peak bull run, especially into the first quarter of next year. I believe a lot of things are going to leave a lot of people dumbfounded. So let's take a look here at shorts and longs for Doge. I wanted to point something out because last time we talked about this, open interest was around, I want to say 800 million. We'll get to in a moment, but it's over several, I'll say not several, but it's over a few billion now to give you an idea. But long short statistics as far as for who's piling into what and what percentages, it's all about 3-1. And by long, by ratios, I mean 3 long and 1 short. So all of them are roughly 75%, 5 minutes, 75.78 to 24.22, 30 minutes, 75.86 to 24.14, 1 hour, 75.86 to 24.14, 4 hours, 75.91 to 24.09, and 1 day, 76.71 to 23.29. So we still have longs, people who are believe that we have higher to go, piling into the coin here and taking longer, taking positions here on the assets. Liquidations, right? So you're going to have this swapping going on, but you'll see that for the most part, they're relatively close to being even. Shorts, you have 4.5 million in the 24 hours. Long liquidations, 5.3 for a total of 9.9 million liquidations in the last 24 hours. And again, this isn't all of the exchanges, just a lot of the big ones. So you have Binance, OKX, Bybit, exchanges like that that are going to give you an idea of general market trend based off of the numbers that are being reported. So it's going to certainly give you, that's not what I want, give you an idea of the overall liquidations here. So right now you will have some swapping going on because typically you'll see the expectation. This is kind of what I believe here. We'll be able to confirm this in the next day or so. But I believe the expectation was that when Bitcoin went over 100,000, the market was going to see a huge sell-off. And it looked like we were going to get it, but then the buy started coming in and it started pushing back up. So I believe some of the longs started swapping for short, saying, hey, look, we're just going to take some position, take some profit here, buy back in, maybe ride it down a little bit, and then flip back into the longs. As we recover and go back up, but it happened so quickly. So I believe this is kind of where we're seeing like that little dance where we thought it was going to go down and then it didn't. So now we got to come back into the longs here. So I believe that's what's going on. We can get some better evidence over the next day or so when we are looking at these positions. So let's take a look at the open interest. Open interest right now, as I said, last time we looked, it was around 800 million. It is 3.3 billion right now. Obviously, most of that's coming from Binance and Bybit. 1.4 billion from Binance, 1.3 billion from Bybit. Just a huge positive trend going forward here as far as for contracts coming out on the coin and overall just the overall interest. I love seeing this here. I think that when we're looking at, and as we track the open interest, I love to see it get to around 4 billion plus. That is what I believe is going on. I'm going to pull the data on this and hopefully have it in my next video, but I believe that's what's going to put us in striking range here of the all-time high, certainly on the track to go to $1. So that's just something we're going to keep track of going into the next video here. So really quickly, want to look at coin market cap. Make sure it's loading up. Okay, so a little slow there. Okay, here we go. Market cap overall 2.65% to the upside, 3.7 trillion. Absolutely phenomenal here. We are on our way to 4 trillion, which is we're certainly going to break some records here. This time we already have. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Ethereum just matched its yearly all-time high or all-time high in general. So we're seeing the money come in here. Ethereum and Bitcoin, you're typically going to see that run up. Ethereum is a bit of a lagger here when it comes to Bitcoin's momentum, but it typically traces really well. So we're seeing that a movement in Ethereum happen right now. XRP is doing phenomenal. Again, 37.96% on the 7-day, 3.70% on the 24-hour, coming in at number 4. Let's see. Solana, number 5, 2.69% of the 24-hour, down on the 7-day and down for the day overall. So I believe it's actually, okay, well, USDC. So Solana and the USDC are the only 2 red ones here on the last 7 days. But other than that, they've all seen, for the most part, an upward tick. But I know there's some bit of a selling pressure for Solana and, yeah, USDC. Those are only 2 that are technically red on a 7-day. But overall good push from the top 10. Doge is number 7 here, 1.11% on the 24.22 down on the 1 hour, but 1.95% up on the 7-day. So this, as we've been talking about in the charts that I looked at earlier, this consolidation is happening beautifully. We're inching up toward that gap zone. So still positive movement. Green for the bigger indicators. Let's see, 7.6 billion in the last 24 hours, 64 billion market cap. So that's just one of the things I wanted to kind of cover here in this video. I do want to see some of those outside of just trending with the overall positive movement of the market. I want to see some of those catalysts come into fruition, hopefully before peak bull run, because I believe that's where things are going to get really, really interesting for price action. So if we can get some of those catalysts, even like the X payments and things like that, something solid, I believe as we talked about like 2021, 2020, Doge at that point is going to melt faces with that price action here, because I believe outside of rising tides raise all boats, but if we have that individual catalyst, kind of like right now, because Ethereum and Bitcoin, yes, we're in the season for it to run. Yes, they're getting ETFs, and you have all this news and coming out around them, but they have individual catalysts. If Doge can get that, we are going to see some shocking news and price action come from that coin. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to. So anyway, just want to provide you guys with this update. Let me know what you guys are doing now as we are seemingly pushing back up towards some of those higher numbers. Let me know what you guys are doing in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, share it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.